Hi everybody, it's me, Corey T, and in this video I'm going to be talking about a really simple thing that you can do to help you understand your triggers and what the belief is that's under them, that's running them, so that you can start to become aware of it and therefore change it, change the story, change the belief. Because the first thing that we need to do is become aware of what's under the triggers. So this is just one of many really simple things that you can do to help you understand your triggers. But this one in particular is so simple that I've used it so many times and it's really helped me to understand myself better. So before I get into this video, I just want to remind you that there are 2 days left on my offer on my 8 and 12 hour session packages, and that offer is that you can get 3 of my e-courses for free when you book one of those larger packages. And that is my self-concept and inner healing transformation course, the Manifest Money workshop, and the Manifest a Specific Person workshop, all for free if you book one of those packages before Saturday. So if you'd like some more information about that, you can find that in the link below. And also, I'm so excited because I have announced my Manifestation Master Academy, which is going to be running from the 9th of September for 12 weeks. And it's going to be a really super safe and empowering and inspiring container for people who are really doing the work on understanding their healing and manifestation, because I believe that healing and manifestation just go hand in hand. And when you do the healing work, manifestation becomes a lot easier. You become a master at manifesting. So this 12-week program is going to be for the people who want a helping hand with the consistency that it takes to become that, to embody the version of you that is healing, that is growing, that is a master manifester. Because it does take consistency and practice. And for me, I have found that when I've had regular nudges, regular support from my mentors, my coaches, I have made the biggest changes in my life. And so I want to give that to other people. I want you to experience the same thing. There are only 18 spaces available. 2 of them have already gone. And that's because I want the people in this group to feel really supportive. And I want everyone to feel really close and get to know each other, which is what happens when we spend time together over a long period of time. So if you'd like to know some more information about the Manifestation Master Academy, then you can find all of the information on my website, including what the program entails, what you'll get in the program, including a handwritten card from me. I can't wait to do that. I love handwriting things and sending them in the post. It's one of my favourite things to do. So enough about that. Email me or message me if you'd like some more information. So how to find what's underneath the triggers that keep coming up again and again and again. So I'm going to give you an example. Say you see your specific person with someone else and you think, oh my God, are they with someone else now? What does that mean? Are they together? And it really triggers you and it brings up all of this fear or anger or just a lot of emotion, and it feels really heavy and scary. Okay, so you're triggered. So in those moments, what you've got to do is you've got to say, okay, wow, yeah, I'm really triggered. I'm really in this story. And then what you've got to do is ask yourself, what am I believing right now? What am I scared of? And the first answer might be, I'm scared that my specific person is with someone else. And then we go deeper and we say, okay, and what would that mean? What would that mean for me? Well, that would mean that they don't want to be with me. And then again, what would that mean for me? So we've got to keep asking ourselves and digging and digging and digging. What would that mean? Okay, and the answer to that, what would that mean? And to get to the bottom of it, we've got to ask ourselves, if my worst fear was to be true, what would that say about me? What do I believe that would mean about me? And often it's something like, well, if your specific person is with someone else, often people make it mean, I'm not good enough. So there's the belief right at the bottom of it. I'm not good enough. We're not so much afraid of the thing itself, but of the feeling that we're so familiar with, of feeling like we're not good enough, and that someone out there or something out there has given us proof that that deepest, darkest fear of ours is true. But it can be other things too, other than I'm not good enough, like I'm going to be forgotten, that I don't matter, I'm not important. And what you've got to do is just ask yourself very gently and see what words come up. See what the feeling in your body is trying to say. Listen to the feeling, because often we're up here in our head completely cut off from our body, and we're not listening to what our body is actually saying and trying to put language to the feelings that we have in our body. And often the reason why we can't put language to it and we don't know how to describe the feeling is because these feelings were created before we actually did have the vocabulary to express them, and that's why they're stuck in our body. That's why they're there. That's why we don't know how to express them or let them out, and we keep trying to resolve them externally rather than internally. So you notice that you're triggered by something, and you've got to look within and say, wow, yeah, there's a really big energy in my body. I'm really activated. That's the first thing. Bringing awareness to the activation that you feel in your body, because that breaks the cycle of the emotion just kind of running away with you, running away with a story. So we've got to kind of interrupt it with that level of awareness. So first of all, we say, wow, I'm really triggered. I'm really activated. And then we've got to ask ourselves, what am I making this mean right now? What do I think this trigger, this circumstance, this situation, what do I think is happening? And if that thing is happening, or I'm making it mean something, what do I think that means about me? If my worst fear about this situation is true, and my interpretation of this is true, what do I think that means about me? What does it say about who I am? Because that's what it is. That's what we're afraid of. That's what we're perceiving. We're perceiving through the lens of this fear. There's underneath that initial perception of the circumstance. We're always just triggered by the things that we're making it mean about us. So that's what we've got to get to. What do I think this means about me? That I'll never get over this cycle, that I'm broken, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not chosen. What you can do is just listen and find your own words, the closest words that come to it, and let those words intuitively come to you. And whatever comes to you is right, okay? At first we might be guessing because we're so not used to putting language to these triggers because they're so old that we feel like we're guessing. But that's a good place to start. At least you're starting to observe it. At least you're starting to question it. At least you're not taking it at face value. So the benefit of asking yourself these questions, and especially, what am I making this mean about me, is that once you've answered that question and you understand what the belief is about the perception that you've got and what that means about you, what you think that would mean about you, you can start to change it. That's where you can go from. So rather than just saying affirmations that are really just guesswork, you're actually saying affirmations that are directed at the belief that you're trying to change. So the affirmations become a lot more powerful. So say you get to the bottom of it and you discover that your fear is that if this thing happens, or the perception or the fear that you've got is true, then that means that you feel deep down that you're just not good enough. Well, then that would mean that your work is learning how to make yourself feel good enough no matter what. So doing this work, understanding what your fears are and what you're making things mean about yourself, is the way to direct you to the affirmations that are going to really work for you, that are going to be really, really powerful for you. So if it's, I'm not chosen, I don't feel chosen, I'm never chosen, no one ever chooses me, then you've got to do an affirmation that helps you to feel that you're chosen no matter what, that you choose yourself, that you're always going to be there to choose you. And let's say the fear is being forgotten, that underneath the perception that you've got, the trigger is, oh no, I'm being forgotten again. Well, then you know from asking yourself the questions that you have that your new affirmations and your new story has got to start to be, I'm never going to forget myself. I'm always going to show up for myself. I am not forgotten. I'm an incredible person. And you start to talk to yourself directly to the beliefs that you're changing. And that's why doing this is so powerful. And this is how we start to see massive change in our self-concept. Also remember with triggers, if they're hysterical, they are historical. So the louder they are, the older they are. And another clue to help you understand that the feeling that you're feeling and the trigger that you're reacting to is actually not based on the present, but based on the past, is if this feeling is familiar, if you've felt it before. Because often we're feeling things that we felt so many times before and we're just basically putting it on the 3D that we're seeing now. We're trying to re-experience it so that we can feel it, heal it, and release it, and free ourselves and become our true, authentic versions of ourselves. So it's very clever. The mind is very clever. It knows what it's doing. There's a reason why you keep getting activated with the same triggers. And what you've got to do is just a little bit of digging. Not much, not overcomplicating it, not using your brain too much. Because remember, if we're in our brain, we're using the same problem that created it in the first place. So we've got to drop down into our body. We've got to use our body, okay? Use the body. Use the body, everyone. The body is your superpower. The body is where all the answers is, not up here. And often so many of us are trying to think and think and think and understand and figure it out and what am I doing wrong? Or how can I get to the bottom of this? And the way that we get to the bottom of it is by dropping down to this part of ourselves, okay? To our body, from the head down. That's where our intuitive self speaks, okay? And we've got to listen. We've got to start learning to listen to what's happening in the body. Sometimes doing this kind of work alone can be really confusing because you can't help but go up into your mind, which is why coaching can be really, really useful, because it's like a mirror to you, so that you're having a conversation with another person rather than just with yourself, which makes it a bit easier in the process of starting to understand what your body's feeling, what you're experiencing. So if you would like some one-to-one coaching, that's what I'm here for, that's what I do, and I would love to help you and support you on your journey. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like any more information about coaching or any of my packages or anything else that I do, or the Manifestation Master Academy, then you can find all the information in the links below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.